Near Michigan's second largest city, Grand Rapids, a few miles into the rural countryside, you'll find the home of Will Pardee, an artist whose wildlife and lighthouse pencil sketches reflect an undisputable talent for capturing and preserving on paper and canvas remarkable detail of each of his subjects. A true Michigan talent. Though Will's talent itself would make a wonderful segment for Michigan Magazine, we found the inspiration and process behind the talent even more remarkable. Will Pardee is a mouth-stick artist, unable to use his arms and hands following a tragic diving accident that left him a quadriplegic. Will, through faith and a wonderfully supportive wife, developed an artistic talent that he felt was there all the time, waiting for the right moment to be exposed. A lover of the great outdoors, Will told us in a recent visit that those unexpected circumstances changed the way he eventually would come to appreciate nature.
Well, I was a fisherman and a hunter as a young person, and I grew up on Muskegon River and grew up with wildlife and fish and deer and rabbits and ducks, and I guess those are some of the things that I enjoy most to draw. I used to hunt them. Now I like to capture them on picture and paper.
You had a tragic accident a while back, of course, and you found yourself in a wheelchair in a situation like that. Were you an artist before this, or?
No, I wasn't. Not really.
So is that what turned the tide as far as you getting into artistry, or how did the progression of your artwork come about and you getting into it? And
after my accident, I come home and it didn't take long to get bored with just watching TV and the few little things that I could do. And my wife had been reading a book by Johnny Erickson, Tata, and Johnny had developed a beautiful art talent by drawing with her mouth. And my wife had been reading that book and seeing me depressed and bored and needing something to do, she thought maybe I could draw like that. And she set up a little easel for me and prodded me to try it, and set up a little teapot for me to draw. Just a simple little picture, and that's where it all started, doing that little teapot.
Did you get any professional help as far as instruction and artistic development, or was it just kind of do it on your own?
Practice. Yeah.
My goodness. You had to be inspired. Do you get an inner peace by doing this, or where does the inspiration come from?
Well, the inspiration above all comes from my God, the Lord. Without Him, I don't know what I would do. You know, He's my Savior and Lord, and my strength. That's bottom line.
It's hard for me to see something like this come together with your ability like that, and when you just say practice, there's got to be a gift that you just finally developed that you had in you in the first place.
Well, from that first picture, it was very exciting for me to see that I could do something different. And something like this especially, I didn't think it was possible at first. But after I sat back and looked at that first picture, which now when I look at it, I kind of laugh because it was so simple and so basic.
But then you did get an inkling that you were able to do something like that. Yeah.
It just started out that way and progressed slowly. Pencil work has always been my favorite. That's always something that's always attracted me. I'm always looking at details. And with pencil, I find that I can get the detail more precise with pencil than I could with anything else.
What are your favorite subjects to develop into sketching? How do you know when you see something you want to make a subject out of?
Well, a lot of it is, again, the wildlife. That inspires me, and lighthouses are really an inspiration to me. The lighthouse to me is a picture of Christ.
How so? How do you?
Well, there's a song about the lighthouse, Jesus is the lighthouse. And the reason that portrays Christ to me is because He is a light that shines through darkness. Just like the old lighthouse navigated the way for shippers. And that's the only thing that they had to guide them into safety in the harbor. And Christ is that light. That He's that safe harbor.
It must be pretty fulfilling to see someone look at your art and look at it for what it is, not knowing your situation, and loving it for what it is, and then taking a look at how you do this and say, my goodness, there's more to it than what we see here. I mean, this man is got inspiration besides the talent. What do you do first? I mean, when you see something in your head, what do you do as far as sketching and getting it onto paper? Do you take notes on a tape recorder, or how do you do this, or you just go right into it and headstrong?
Well, basically, we go by a photograph of the subject. Either take out a photograph ourselves or finding in a book. I have several books on lighthouses that I use. And I like to go to the lighthouses, too, and look at them personally and look them over and get a chance to see them all the way around to get a good look at them. First, I develop a light outline to get the perspective down on the paper, and then once I get that basic outline all situated right, then I start detailing and shading to bring it out to full detail.
Do you take your shows on the road? I mean, your pictures on the road and do any art shows, or?
Several. In fact, we probably are involved in about 30 art shows a year, mainly from June through October. So that takes in just about every weekend.
Oh my goodness, pretty much on the road a lot. What would you like to eventually develop your artistry into? Do you have any long-term goals as far as galleries or anything of this sort, or ultimate goals?
Well, right now the art shows is the direction the Lord has led us into. It's not only a way to sell artwork, but a ministry for us. We meet many people, and it gives me an opportunity to share. But someday I would like to slow down a little bit on art shows. It's a lot of work. It's a real great deal of work for us, and possibly get involved in more gift shops or galleries, and that kind of an outlet to kind of balance out a little bit.
I see perhaps you being a role model for many people, maybe the youngsters who might be in the same situation as you are and wanting to develop something like this. What would you say to the younger generation who want to develop something like this and are afraid to do it for fear of failure?
Never be afraid to try. You never know. If I had never tried, and I wouldn't be doing this right now. I don't know what I'd be doing. And the Lord is the one that I always turn to in time of need and for strength. And the Lord has given me a wife that's always been by my side, and often she's been there to help me, to comfort me and to encourage me when I need encouragement.
Will's rock-solid faith, coupled with positive encouragement, has resulted in some very impressive masterpieces, from lighthouses to rural landscapes. The intense hours Will spends on the smallest of details creates exceptional distinctive pieces. While adding such detail in the work he was doing of the Charlevoix Lighthouse, we asked how long something of this magnitude would take him to complete.
This would take me probably an average of 1 to 2 weeks, a picture this size. But I spend up to 1 or 2 months on the larger pictures. It really varies in the size of the work and the detail, how much detail is involved.
I bet you find yourself lost in the pictures sometimes.
Sometimes, especially the larger ones. When I first get started, especially a picture that takes 2 months. The first part of the work doesn't seem very rewarding because there's not much there. But when I get the shading and the detail started, and it starts to come out, then it looks like things are coming around better. I love it outdoors. Wintertime, I have a real hard time being inside, and it's snowy and gray. But when the summer gets here and the weather gets warm, the sun comes out, I like to be outdoors. I'd rather be outdoors than inside.
Do you do any of your actual artwork at the shows, or?
Yeah, now and then we bring up the smaller portable easel that I can work with on the spot, and that really gets a lot of eyes, a lot of attention. You can say it's done by mouth, but when they see it, they really. Sometimes people have a hard time to believe that it's really done by mouth. But when they see it, I guess they say seeing is believing.
Well, seeing was certainly believing that day. We shared with Will Pardee, not only believing that we were in the presence of a very talented mouth stick artist, but also that through faith and determination, whatever circumstances are thrown your way, the human spirit can prevail and be developed to inspire others. Through his artistry and testimony, Will Pardee is the perfect example of just that.